Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. All things Middle-earth here with an evil commander tier list. This was done on stream over the weekend. It's quite long, and so I have chapters in the video, so you can click throughout the video if you want to hear about a specific commander or go to the end just to see where everything ends up. But this was done on stream over the weekend. It was a really good conversation. If you want to be a part of conversations like that, the stream schedule is in the description below. We're on YouTube on Fridays, Twitch on Mondays, and then kind of sporadically throughout the week and on the weekends. And then Sunday, we do our member stream. So if you're interested in that information, it's down in the description below. But without further ado, here is the evil tier list. So again, for those just joining in, we are going to be doing evil tier first. Then we're going to do good tier, unless we spend like 6 hours on evil tier, in which case we'll do good another time. But we're going to do evil tier first, then good tier. We're going to do all the tier 1, 2, 3 together. This is a sort of like community, like I want feedback if you've used them, if you've come up against them in PvP, what is your experience? We're looking optimal respect. We're not talking R25s. We're not talking fully refined R10s. We're talking kind of reasonable, obtainable. The goal is if someone relatively new to this game or anybody were to open this video up and say, I'm playing evil, I want to know who's good, they could look here and get a general idea for who are good commanders to go for. Again, we'll make kind of caveat notes if someone is vastly different in roleplay versus non-roleplay, if they like are ridiculously different. You know, Yusra with someone like her with her R10. I've heard her R10 is nuts. So if someone has that and wants to share that, yeah, you think she's S with her R10, we'll make that like point so people watching can hear that. But I'm going to put them where they kind of like just, you know, you guys get it? I think that makes sense, right? Starting out, we're just going to, in no particular order, we're going to go through, start left to right, work our way down, which is tier 1 through 3. We have Sharku. Somebody, I'd love to hear an argument for why Sharku is above like one of the very, very bottom tiers, if not the meme tier. We tested him, we tried. From what I understand about his kit, his commander burn damage does not work. Sharku i5 vastly underrated. I've tried it. I have an R5. I have an R5 plus. I think he's 5 or 7. I can't remember. He's 5. We have an R6 Sharku. We tested the R5, and he just did not do good against anybody. Simon, you think C plus? There's no C plus. Sharku's a C tier because of his tiles. His tiles do work together. They just aren't isolated, but it's not strong enough. He has cohesion. So he's not an F tier, but it's Garbo. So basically we're saying F is Garbo, and then anything that's not Garbo that's still bad, it's going to be C. Then there are worse things. And that could be the meme tier. Hey, here's a question. Do we want the meme tier to be siege tier, or do we need SS and S? If you guys want, we can rearrange these if it makes more sense. But again, once we get a bunch of commanders on here, we're going to see how they rank up, and you might go, oh yeah, we need to bump Sharku down because he shouldn't be in the same tier as whoever else. And true, the siege and gather early game is nice. Yeah, that's a good point, Rachel. Keep meme instead of siege. Some work well in both siege and fighting. Yeah, Gothmog wouldn't really fit in either one. True. But I think people aren't saying it's based on his siege that he'd be here. Yeah. Are you reading the chat? They're loving on Sharku. They love him. And yes, we will do good commanders as well. All right, I saw a lot of comments around the C. He's not good, but he's not like the worst. So we're just going to put him there. Again, as we fill this in, if we see like other commanders in the S tier that are way better, we may bump him down. Or again, you can order them, like you can put them before or after people. So he might be the bottom of that tier. I don't know. This is about PvP. We could do a utility list. Okay, so in that case, do we want this bottom tier to be utility, and do we want to put commanders like that in that list? Because again, the question is, and I think the message will be clear. If anybody's watching this, I want them to be able to see who is kind of best to worst. And I just, you know, do we ever want to encourage Sharku to be invested in it at all? My vote would be no. So I feel like we should have like a utility. I'm thinking out loud here. Like a utility tier. He's got some use. He's got some gathering, some tile taking. You know, with his titles work together. I think some great points were made. Can we, like, this is a PvP tier list. These are commanders that you're going to fight with. So, is everybody cool with that? I'll give stream like a second to catch up. You think utility is fair? That way, like, we're not ranking him like higher. Because truth be told, I don't think he should be ranked. That's my personal opinion. And I have an R6 Sharku. We tried the R5 build. We tried these two together. I honestly use him the most for sieging or for resource gathering. So I think that, yeah, okay, I'm seeing some C's or Yaz. We're gonna go with that. Sharku, done deal. Okay, now an actual better commander, or an actual commander, I should say. Order them from left to right when they're in the same tier. Yeah, so the one closest to the column on the left side will be the better one, right? All right. S tier. Netherese, I feel like you had this like pre-typed up and I love it. I'm gonna throw him up there for a second to read this. Grima is an A+ or S tier commander. He has all good titles. He has a good room to grow above Respect 5, so good to invest in. And I don't know a single player who is happy about hitting Grima. Oh, absolutely. Hit Grima on tiles or someone has a Grima. Horrible. The other thing is, something to throw into this conversation about Grima, I would honestly say he is the best free-to-play commander in the game, which again is just a point that I want people to hear if they're watching this. But again, we're taking all these like 100 points and trying to put that together, and I think more than anybody, he has amazing use at low respect, and he does get better and better and better. I have what do we got ours? We got ours at our R11 here, and he's really solid. A+, S. I'm seeing a lot of A+, A's, S's. So do we split the difference and go S-? I know that I didn't make these brackets, by the way, so I don't know. This is a lot of different things. I have proof that Ori is extremely OP. He's easily an A+. Eric, that's a bannable offense in the channel to talk like that. A+? Okay, I see a plethora of A+s coming through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now he's just listening to EQ. I try. All right. Charlie, I would argue Dwalin is better for A+. Is better, but A+ Grima. I don't know if Dwalin. I know. We'll have a long conversation about Dwalin when we get there. You feel free to do that, Eric, and we save that for when we get to the Dwalin talk. All right. A+. Moving on. Again, as we go through this, if we need to adjust and say, you know what, we maybe put this person too high or too low, we can do that. This is the power of the internet. All right, next up, Yusra. What do we think about Yusra? Yusra. We've got her at R10. I've had decent use with her. She has some utility use. Easterling's a good tree. Interrogator's solid. I have heard that her R10 is what like makes her nuts. So we're not going to necessarily consider that. B, lots of B's. DC, S- or S. You might be thinking with the R10 item, my friend. Yusra carried by R10 item, otherwise meh. Okay, so I saw a ton of Bs, so let's throw her there. Really quickly, this is just for like anybody watching. I'm not going to put her there. What do you guys think Yusra is with her R10 item? Let's say you have a fully refined R10 item for Yusra. Where does that put her? B+. Fully refined R10 item. Where does Yusra go? For reference, because I think that's an important point, because I think hers is a very, very good one. S. All right. There you can see. Again, if you're watching the video, you should be able to see up in the top the comments going through. You can see the S, S, A plus. So to give people an idea watching, she bumps up pretty significantly with the R10 item. I think at full refinement, one of the better tier 1 R10 items, but I'm not arguing to do that. I'm just putting out there if you're interested in that. That's that. All right. Appreciate it, chat. Okay. Next up is Agzok. Mr. Agzok, who we have in an R7. We did some testing on a while ago. I think I was surprised to see that his Shadow of the Mist, like, what does it do? You can stack his Shadow of the Mist with weapon expertise and get like kind of decent commander damage. High respect. I've seen him outperform Lurtz. I'm just throwing information out there. Okay, B+. Wizard with the F. Wizard, not a fan of Agzok. C, C, A, D. B tier, he does seem pretty good damage. What's that? All right. I'll call it in a second. B tier, B+ to A, B+. Agzok's an interesting character. Hey, you guys, I'm gonna give you a little hint. You want your input to be considered. Put some information with it. Like, let me know why you're thinking. Don't just try not to just spam over and over again, because I want to see everyone's stuff. But if you've got like a thought of why it works, put some information in there. Agzok's an interesting character. He's B+ or A. His bleed build is good. He requires a specific thing. What does he require for the bleed build? You're talking specific gear? Sam Benson, his R5 seems to work against some range commanders. And that's the thing that surprised me about Agzok is when I first started the game, I thought, oh yeah, his R5 would be best. Crazy range, he'll take out range commanders. But I feel like it's actually his like top R1, R3, if I'm not mistaken, with the like the bleed damage build. He has a lot of good items. He has pursuit items. Okay. Depends on enemy, can be a niche counter. B+ his damage at R5 is a little OP. I've seen some good reports against higher tier commanders. C tier because he's slow and I couldn't figure out his troops easily. All right, I'm trying to like take all this in. I saw a lot of B+. So I saw a lot of B+. Do we think he's better than Yusra? Because that's how we kind of start doing these. Are we comfortable with him being a tier above Yusra? Or do we go, now he needs to be moved up or Yusra needs to be moved down? You guys think right there? Yes? Seeing a lot of yeses? All right. Above Yusra for sure. Again, we did talk about with her R10 already, like what that looks like, but this is just kind of, we're not talking R10s. Chick needs to go higher. We're talking standard build here. Like her normal kit is not amazing. It's her R10 that adds her follow-up in the first couple of rounds. So, I saw a lot of yeses, so let's sit him there. Again, we gotta keep this rolling because we could do this for legitimately hours. All right. Maltoke. He's actually one I have not tested. I only have him R3, but he's got the warg abilities. He's got Pursuer, Easterling, kind of a little bit of everything. I don't think wargs are amazing in the game. What do you guys think? Maltoke. Utility? Are we thinking utility? What's his utility, if I can ask? I feel like same kit as Yusra. He is. That's not a bad point. So, well, they have Easterling. They both have Easterling and Interrogator. They both have Easterling and Interrogator, but then he has a instead of Experienced Warrior, he has Pursuer, and then the R5s, she has a Gathering Tree. He's just a worse version of Gorbach and Yusra. He's an F or Utility. I've seen a lot of Utility or F. Here's what I'm thinking. I don't know. YK, you don't think he deserves an F? We're a little bit all over the place right here. For the most part, people are saying that he's lower. I've seen some say he's higher, but we gotta kind of find the middle point here. I don't necessarily know if he belongs in Utility, because to me, Utility is like Shark who can gather and he can do more siege. Like, he has utility uses. Maltoke doesn't really have that, so that's why I'm leaning towards like an F tier. I could do C, but again, not a huge difference here. He's a leader versus Yusra as a warrior. His kit doesn't lend him to being a leader. Fair. I saw someone whale him out. He's super C tier. And again, we're not talking to whale that one. So you feel very strongly below R10 he's better than Yusra. I don't know. I hear you, but I see a lot of people saying nay to that, just in terms of the type of kit that he has, being a leader versus her being a warrior. He's got Experienced Warrior, Easterling Interrogator, and some utility use. He has, to me, wargs are bad. We're just gonna like not even look at his R5. I'm sorry, I don't think wargs are very good. Like, you wouldn't like run him with like a full warg build unless like something changes in the future and we get some better groups, in my opinion. Then other than that, you have an attacker tree, he's an attacker, and these two they both share. Yeah. Well, okay, I'm gonna put him in the F tier for now. Again, if we get some other commanders in here in the F tier or in the C tier, we go, wait a minute, Maltoke's way better than that. We can adjust. This is not the end all be all. This is also just kind of a community thing where it's community input and I'm putting them on the sheet. So this is not the end all be all. If you love Maltoke, hats off. It's a shame. It's a nice mask. All right, moving on. I would agree with that, Charlie B. Okay. Khaldun. What do you think about Khaldun? Khaldun's good. I'm waiting to see the A's, the A pluses trickle in. S minus, B plus. So I have a little bit of Khaldun PTSD from the season because we fought an R25 Khaldun, but we need to, again, we're thinking R5. S, A plus, but lower than Grima. S plus, A plus with Grima. A or behind Grima. So people are saying, I've seen more people saying behind Grima than above. So we're either going to, I think right now we're either going to go A plus below Grima or A. A plus, he kills me even at R5. I liked him for fast pathing. Okay. I don't know. Grima is a pain. Grima is like a whale killer type of, like, he's just such a pain. B plus or above. Eric Abrams. Again, we're not gonna just include because there's the new Hobbit troop and that wrecks Grima, that moves Grima down. We got to think very generally. If just R5, A plus behind Grima at higher respect, S. And that's a fair point. So I will say, seeing Khaldun is a very good. Again, we fought at R25 Khaldun. Not saying do that, but he wrecked like almost, other than like Witch Kings, like burn damage, like he was going toe to toe and at times beating BSA's like R22 Gilgalad. I know he's a counter to that, but just like he scales well. So I think this is where we're gonna do it. Netherese, he's a good commander at respect 5. He counters most Elven commanders. He has incredible growth for you to take him past R5. Khaldun requires good purple gear and more respect. he is slightly worse than Grima. I think it's very well said. This is a respectable spot for him. I like it. I like it. All right. Moving on. Ugg Thack. Now, in my mind, and Cameron, high respect on Kaladin with Max Hold, Rex almost everything on good side, which is great, but we're looking a little bit more generally. We're not talking fully refined gold gear. We're not talking uniques. We're not talking max. This is a optimal respect, kind of optimal items, something that a newer player, an experienced player could pick up and say, hey, this is a general idea of how the evil side works. I'm thinking utility. He does have some commander. He's got a commander damage build, right? Does he? I'm pretty sure you run his complete R1 for that. I honestly don't know how he stacks up against other damage commanders, though. I'll be honest. But I just run him for his siege. See, he's an okay Ent farmer. Although Ent farming in Season 6, they're changing the commanders that are on those and troops. So burn damage Ent farming is going to be done with new seasons. Just a worse lurts. His kit doesn't lend itself to any form of cohesion. He's better than Maltoke. So he's better than Maltoke. We don't want to throw him in like the F tier. Is utility a more respectful spot for him just to say, hey, he's a really good sieger? Or does he actually go like above Maltoke in F or C? He's a worse lurts. Good with Urukai and has utility, so C. I think I agree. I got a lot of people saying utility. I think that's a good idea. Again, I would never suggest for someone to level up or respect up their Ugg Thack unless you're crazy like me and like BSA and you have an R5 one just for siege. Listen, if you have one, you're not crazy. I'm just saying, like, we go a little hard on the siege. So other than that, he doesn't get used for me. So I think utility to me is a more respectful place than F. You know what I mean? That is actually a good idea. Let's do that. Shadow. You missed this point of the stream where you could have argued for him. It's too late now. I'm moving utility. I like that comment. I'm going to move utility up above F. That way, yeah, people don't think that utility is bad because they can have used their utility commanders. F is bad. Anywho. Change F to trash can. No, here's what I changed it to. Dustbin. The dustbin. Trash can. If you like translate trash can into all these different languages and then like send it in the game and then translate it back. I don't remember which one it was, but BSA and I were messing around with it. And one of them, if you send trash can from English translated and then send it and then translate it back in the game, comes back as dustbin, and it just made me laugh. Really pointless story there, but there you go. Anywho, Hather, I think that's good. Some if they like are actually a better Pather than others are going to fall into utility, but we'll just do that for now. Okay, moving on. We've been on this one for a minute here. Let's see. Gorbach. Seen some really good Gorbach orc builds. We're not looking at his R10, which I have seen use of. With hireable units? No, I don't think so. Oh, higher respect. B, unless you're Darbini. Gorbach's in A. Go to R5, but extremely gear and respect reliant. B tier, PvP character. But put him in utility. He's evil's best dragoon or dragon battle farmer. So does that make him utility though? Or is But that's Darbini's R10 items, really, really good gear. I do think it's an important point to say that, like, for Heart of a Hero, for the fire, you know, Balrogs and Dragons, I do think it's worth pointing out that he has probably the best use for evil on that, which is important especially if you're playing roleplay. You need gold. That's a big, big thing. However, I don't think that's his only use and utility. I do think he has strong builds. He does have anti-madness in the R5. You're free to play. Gorbach did decent. He's probably the most versatile cheap commander. Again, I do think he scales well. I do think I've seen good stuff with his R10. If you do want to put him out of utility, he needs B. He's a B, but he needs orcs. Okay, so if we were going to put him down in B, above Yusra, I won't necessarily hold the needing orcs against him, because it's the same thing for like Khaldun. Like, you have to run evil men. Like, well, you don't have to, but like his R5, you do need that. A lot of the gear that works with all that needs that. So I won't say orcs is a horrible thing. Better than Yusra, but not better than Agzok. Okay, I still see people like pushing higher. So how about that? Lower than Agzok in the B+ tier. Better than Yusra in the B tier. With a note attached to Gorbach that at higher respect, with certain gear, he can really, really, really do cool things. And he does have good utility for Heart of the Hero, Balrogs, and Dragons. Is that a fair summary? He's a good commander. He's got good potential. He can do some different things. Can we all live with that? Oh, really? That hasn't happened in a while. Reminder, everyone, we're talking about Respect 5 Gorbach, not Respect 10 to 15. Again, good point. We got to dial it back. Like, we can't... I know those of us who played like with Smash Squad, we play with now and played against Darbini with a, I don't know what respect, at least 10 plus, because he had the R10 item. And I think he does scale up. So let's just keep that in mind. So I'm going to put him there. Maybe down the road, Shadow. What we talked about for today is if any commanders have an R10 item that really changes how they work as a commander, we're just kind of pointing that out for people that are watching. And so like for Yusra, for example, when we did her, so if you're watching through the video, you'll see that point where we say, okay, with her R10 item, she bumps up to like S or S minus. So we're kind of making caveats, but again, we could make lists till the cows come home. So yeah, there's that. And Cameron Holsey, Aragorn, what are you doing? You think it's your day off or something? He likes to take a minute on Fridays. Give him a moment. Come on, embarrassing me. There we go. Cameron with the $5 through Super Chat. I appreciate it, Cameron. I appreciate it. Okay. Continuing on, I think this is a good spot. There's some lively debate there on Gorbach. I like to see it. I like to see it there. I think B+ at like an actual like R5 respect might be generous, but we're gonna have it there for now. Are you on drugs? I am not on drugs. One of the best items in the game is Anti-Madness. Gorbach has it built in. B+ my Rs. Oh my. Well, we had a lively discussion about it, and a lot of people put him in B+. But it is what it is. Shagrat equals Dustbin. I think I could get on board with the Shagrat Dustbin. Let me look at him. Lewis, how can I get respect from Sauron fast? Spend money. That's it. There's no getting things fast. Spending money. I think Shadow already answered you actually. Look for a chest that has him specifically and do that one. But there's no get this fast, get gear fast, get respect fast. It is not. Yeah, I don't even want to look at his kit. I mean, it's just a weird, like a defending commander damage. I don't like it. I don't like it. Dustbin. All right, I saw like 3 comments for Dustbin, so forever in the Dustbin he goes. Okay, Kamul. We're into the tier 2s now. We're starting to move on up. Where do we think Kamul goes? The fun thing will be when we have like tier 2 commanders and tier 3 commanders in the Dustbin, so we can really see how we've got this all balanced out. Nameless and faceless. Actually, he does have a name. B tier max, B will be plus, B plus, B. Okay, so I see we're floating in the middle area here. So for Kamul S, my goodness. Shadow is better. A plus does some great damage or can be good for shutting down commanders with the R5. B at best, big disappointment. All right, I'm seeing a lot of Bs and B pluses. What do you guys... Okay, so if we're thinking he's middle of the road, is he middle of the road above these guys? In the middle of them? Or at the very bottom? You think better than Yusra? Cameron, I play good side, never seen him as anything but Pather. Again, I have an R10. I have an R10 Kamul. I won't say I've like tried him ridiculously recently and tried all the different things. I think in Angmar with the Fallen, I've seen different things with Black Rider and the ability here. With second in command, I don't think this tree is bad. So it's like you can run like a discount Witch King build, or you can do like a cab build. It's a worse version of several other things. So there's a reason you don't run into them on the field a lot. Above Yusra, under Gorbach, above Yusra. So right where I have him? We go with that? Kamul's B-Tier commander. He has decent kit if running a completely cavalry build with all of your commanders, but his elemental damage build just falls short. He's missing a niche below Gorbach. All right. I have him at R8, and he just doesn't work. Not even at Angmar or Variags. R5 doesn't work. The others are above average, so B. All right. I think we've love you a long time. Bye. Cameron, have a good one. I hope did my stream just drop? I think stream may have dropped for a second. I saw a big red bar down by my connection. We good? Logged out? I think we're back. Cheese and rice, man. Logged a little. Okay. All right. Okay. Just buffered for a second. Yeah, I just saw like a red flashing light down on the OBS. And I was like, uh-oh. I didn't do anything else. But Kamul, we have him at the B. I saw pretty much everyone agreeing with that. So moving on. Shadow. I've heard people say they like Shadow better than Kamul, but from what I hear, sounds like that's higher respect is needed. What do you guys think? Shadow with an R5 plus is easy S. Oh my goodness. I just do not. Lewis, you just opened chests, my guy. Shadow is S. You guys are memeing me, right? I've never seen a Shadow in PvP. I've never come up against a Shadow. He's like a cross between Witch King and Sauron. Shadow is higher tier. He's fairly cheap weapon for early on with Uruk-hai. Pike for 10% commander damage. Shadow's worse than Kamul. A at high respect. S. Man. I'm thinking higher than the B plus seems like very generous for Shadow. Again, I've heard that with like crazy high respect, you can do like a lot more with this kit, but we're talking about 5. So bear that in mind. And from what I've heard, correct me if I'm wrong, at 5 R5 Kamul is better. Shadow, our first A commander, respect 5. He shines with investment. He can do damage, but he lacks the burst of alerts. He has very little survivability for his command, and he suffers from the commanders running less. He suffers from the commanders running less than 3 troops. A, B plus. Okay. Again, not one I've used, so I'm seeing a lot of A's and B pluses. By far better than Grima, Son of Durin. I think you. I don't know. I don't know. Concerned. You guys think an A, or do you think B plus above our other 2? Again, we're thinking around R5, decent gear, like optimal skills, that kind of stuff. We're not looking whaled. We're not looking at R10s, nothing like that. It's an A, B plus in his core bag. Happy with air, B plus leftmost. B but better than Kamul. Big damage boy, man. All right, just because I'm not ready to accept him being higher than this, I'm going to throw him right here for now. If we might bump him up later if we get some other ones in the A tier that like it makes sense. But I'm going to put him in the B plus tier. So he's a tier above Kamul, but he's the best one here. I see a lot of things between A and B. We're putting him in the middle, best in B plus. Fair? I think that makes sense. A. Okay, you know, all right. I'll listen to the people. I see a lot of people still going higher B plus A. You can have it. You can have your Shadow. All right. Next up. I fought him with Kamul and got destroyed. Okay, yeah. I mean, again, we're not doing like versus, you know, just because he beats someone doesn't mean they're higher than them, but just overall. Lurts. Where are we putting Lurts at? Lurts, obviously a damage dealing commander. A plus, A. What about right there? He's a damage commander. Like, I feel like I've seen Agzok at like higher respect outperform, but like he's got optimal use at R3. Based on what we have now, Lurtz is top of A plus. He's too dependent on what faction. With Muma's amazing, without not so much. Yeah, we're not going to do like totally dependent on Muma type commanders, but that can be a no on Lurch. Is like, yeah, with Muma he's a lot better. What? Yeah, no, we're not gonna rank anyone if they're solely reliant on neutral units or camps or whatever. We will make a point to say, hey, they do better with that. Another reason, my man Lurch, he's a solid A. He is better than Shadow at respect 5. He can 100%. He can be 100% effective at R5 because he can fully 28 both R1 and 3. He kills Gen off the white. So good. All right. A and better than Kamul. A. Nicholas, this is Blue Stacks. Blue Stacks is how you play on PC. Lurch is a glass cannon. A, but above Shadow. B plus. That's fair. Oh yeah, I think he's fallen out a little bit out of favor, but he was great, but after season 2 he falls behind so much. PvP has tons of losses. I have Lurt's max purple gear, R13. I wish he was better. Without Momo, he falls a lot. He should be B plus at most. All right, so I'm seeing a lot of B pluses or A's, So I feel pretty good. I've in some A pluses too. I think I saw an S too with him. So I think this is sort of our middle ground. Unless we like really feel like he should be above or below certain commanders around here, but I think he's better than Shadow at R5, but Shadow is better at R10 plus. I'd be happy to flip it that either way, but Lurch is definitely better than anyone below A. Okay. Let's just stay here then, because if he's better at R5, the optimal respect, he's better. If Shadow at R10 bumps up, then that's the case. But again, we're doing a kind of general look at things. So I like that. Good points. All right. Moving right along, we have, what is this guy's name? Grishnak. Somebody just, right? Warband leader, we got this poison tree. We have survivor and interrogator. Dustbin. Can we move on quickly? 1 dustbin, 2 dustbin, 3 dustbin. Utility. What's his utility? Okay. He does have the siege and gathering tree. I just think the rest of his kit is so bad. I just think he belongs in the dustbin tier. I'm not gonna lie. All right. I will make the point. I will say it once. I'm gonna put him in the dustbin. He does have siege and gathering. Take that for what you will. But we're putting him in the dustbin. All right. Or wait. Did I pick the right one? Oh my gosh. I was like, no, wait. That's Ugluck. Wait. Oh my goodness. Ugluck, that's Ugluck. Okay. My bad. I was mixing up the best tier 2 evil commanders. Okay. I love you too. We have Ugluck in the dustbin. And Grishnak. Okay, Ugluck doesn't even have utilities. There's no question there, right? Mamba Mentality, you think Ugluck all the way up to the C tier? I don't know. We had a lot of... Okay. Let's dial it back then. Let's make sure we're on the same page. Because I jumped the gun first. We're doing Ugluck first. I was looking at Grishnak, though. That's my fault. Ugluck. This is who I was talking about first. He has the Pursuer attack tree. He's got Uruk-hai Elite. He's got Outlaw. He's got like Uruk buffing stuff and some commander damage. I've never ever seen anybody running Ugluck, and I don't think there's any reason anybody should. I'm putting him in the trash, and I think Grishnak belongs in the trash too. And Grishnak is the one with slight utility with siege and gathering. Can we agree on that and move on with our lives? They've given a lot of screen time. Halfway between damage and not damage and a good commander. Halfway between damage and a unit commander. Yeah, not good. All right, cool. That works for me. Ugluck and Grishnak done. To the dustbin. Next up, Mouth of Sauron. He's a little interesting commander. You what? Yamani, Mouth of Sauron is S or SS tier. He's a whale killer. Quite plain. Son of Durin says A. Netherese, I've never used Mouth and I've never seen anyone use him. I'm gonna go read his kit. Fair enough. So Gandalf the White kills him. What's above S plus? We've got S minus, S, and SS. Mouth of Sauron. Respect 5. His kit is very much like an anti-commander kit. You aren't aware. He has got Harbinger of Darkness. First 2 rounds, allied enemy units have, for the first 3 rounds actually when maxed out, they deal 75% less damage. So he shuts down a lot of the convener commanders who rely on heavy early round burst damage. He's got Master of Mischief with stun. He's got Enfeeble. The entire battle, the enemy commander deals 90% less normal attack damage. Then Shutdown reduces might and focus. Disruption, you have a chance to silence. Those are kind of the anti-skills. And then with his R5, you have Orcs and Trolls damage dealt, Orcs damage reduction, and Dishearten for enemy unit damage reduction. So I feel like he's got a lot of potential. I think he's very interesting. He got an anti-heal with Black Numenorian and Black Hearts. Where does that rank him, though, at an actual R5? Hello, you think Grima is greater than Mouth of Sauron? Mouth of Sauron can go SS with a 0-star Tranquility Helm? That is just, that is, I don't know. I don't know. Again, for me, those that we're going to put in the SS tier are the cream of the crop. They are in the meta. I think I came up against maybe one Mouth of Sauron this season. I'm not talking whaled ones. I'm not talking crazy gear, but just efficient, like, you know, a good build, like optimal respect, like 5-ish at the most, and solid gear. Keeping everyone in line. Wow. All right, I'm trying to keep up here. We got a lot of... If he reads like a worse Grima, he reads like a worse Grima. If physical damage commanders were more prevalent, maybe I could see him. I'm going to defer and not comment. The fact I've never seen him is enough for me. That's kind of my point. I do think he's very, very interesting, but I don't see him a lot. So we have to just go off of like what we're seeing. A plus A. I think they were higher respect ones. I'm seeing a lot. I saw a few people like staying like crazy A or S and SS stuff. I'm seeing a lot of A's and A pluses now. Would we feel comfortable putting him behind Grima and Khaldun? I think he gets beheaded too fast in the movie. Dustbin. He needs higher gear and respect for better use. Who said that? Oh, there we go. I saw him with tier 4 trolls. He's really good then, but A+. Again, we're not looking just with I'm honestly, I honestly would lean more here. Again, Grimas and Khalduns tested in the meta. Lewis, I think we've answered your question like 50 times. I'll show one time, then we're gonna move on. You want to unlock a commander, you got to open the Matham chests. Put him on your wish list. He needs this item right here. You click that, and you open Mathams till the cows come home until you get his respect item to unlock him. There's no secret to doing it. It's all right, but that's it. There's no like fast unlocks, and like it really is just time and Mathams. Anywho. Because I don't see him out on the field as much, because it sounds like he needs specific units or high respect to be used, I think I'm going to put him in the A tier. I think I feel okay about that. A first spot, low A+. So I think people are... This is one we're kind of all over the place on, I'm not going to lie. So this one might be something that not everyone agrees on. At least A+ in my opinion, because of difficulty. Kind of realize I'm fine with anything on this level. All right. I saw some pushback, so we're going to put it there. Again, the reason like I think Grima and Khaldun are A+ is because they scale with respect really well. Like they're tested. We see them out there. So Mouth reads better than anyone B+ and below, so it's fine at A or A+. All right, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's move on. Okay, next up is Gothmog. Next up is Gothmog. What do we think for him? I think a lot of people just think of him as a utility, as a sieger. From what I've seen, he does have some very good PvP builds. I have not gone crazy with them. I've got mine at R7, but with Overlord and increased damage, more good lieutenant, second in command, that kind of stuff, he's got some good viability, I think. So SS, 3 S's. Defense God. Goth seems overrated to me, but never used him. A+ Orc Commander, but he's S+++. Utility. It's a shame. You have to run him as utility. S. Definitely S. S. I thought he was just Siege, but then I came across his PvP build, and it's so much better than I thought. Again, I'm telling you, if you guys have only run him as Siege, he's got, I've seen some crazy stuff. So I'll make a note and I'll say this: I don't think he's a utility commander, but if you were running him utility, he's the best. He's the best sieger in the game. So let's get that out there. Outside of that, I have seen a lot of S votes. Netherese, you don't think he's better than Khaldun? S overall, S tier table commander. So here's a question. I have a lot, like I've seen probably more S votes than anybody else. Netherese, you're saying not higher than a Khaldun or a Grima type of thing. Do Grima and Khaldun need to be bumped up? Or what do we think? B+ or A+? S is safe. I don't know. We're kind of split here. He's ridiculously good starting commander with orcs. A+, but if you combine the utility, he's S. Again, kind of just looking at his PvP viability here. We've already pointed out that he's a good utility commander, so just in PvP. Netherese, I want to read someone's reasoning on why he's an S. He's not better than Khaldun. It's a fair point. I'm seeing a lot of just like S's, S, S, S. What do you guys think? So if you're Netherese, you'd put him here between maybe after Khaldun. And like I see a lot of S. Again, I don't know for sure. I have not run a PvP Gothmog. I know Darbini ran one with Mumakil, so we're not counting that. So just like a standard troop build, R5 Gothmog. Far worse PvP than Khaldun. Yes, I'd be happy if you moved Grima and Khaldun to the S- and put Goth. Okay, so maybe here's the issue we have. Oh my gosh. The troll. Sounds like Netherese, you're saying he's not better than like Grima Khaldun. Other people are really buying for higher placement for him. What if we shuffled things around? We said, okay, we're saying Grima and Khaldun are better, but that puts him at the top of the A+. Is that a comfortable middle ground spot for us? I ran PvP Gothmog. He's under Khaldun at R5. Okay. So again, that's what we're looking for. That's right, Ohm. We've been waiting for you. We've been waiting for your commander expertise. That's right. What a good point by Netherese. If you're enjoying the stream, if you're enjoying hanging out doing our tier list, hit that like button. Feed the algorithm. It needs its daily amount. That would be awesome. And again, I don't disagree. He has versatility, but when people talk about versatility, I think they're talking about Siege. And this is not a Siege tier list. We're looking at PvP. So we've already noted that Gothmog is the best sieger in the game. That goes without saying. So if you're watching this, Gothmog's the best sieger in the game. That's what I use mine for. He does have PvP viability though. I think we're saying he's around the A+, not as good as Grima Khaldun, but he's solid. Yes, Gothmog is S++++ siege. Got it covered. All right. I'm leaving him there. I haven't seen a whole lot of disagreement with this shuffling of things, so we're gonna go with that at an A+. Good. All right, moving on. We're not at all the tier 3s yet. We've got some other ones shuffled in here. Next up, Undying Dustbin. I'm not totally being serious, but I have an Undying at R5, and I'm not happy that I have an Undying at R5. So for those of you who have used Undying to great effect, I would love to hear where he ranks. But get that out of here. Undying, he's got a heal and then anti-heal with the max level effect. Drains focus from enemy commander, which decays over round. Melee unit damage, ring wraith like all the Nazgul. Undead commander, evading physical damage from the first 4 hits, a 60% chance. Nimbleness, dishearten's cut off, but that's just the damage reduction on enemy units, and then Undertaker. R5 is good in some matchups. C, Undying makes me sad every day. Please Dustbin him. I killed Undying, no problem. He's decent on defense. Slapping guilds and Gandalfs with him? I'd be interested in seeing that. Undying is a huge disappointment. I would rate him Dustbin 2. I have tried him. Jokes aside, he might be a C. He's a worse shadow. If true healing commanders were more in the meta, he would be great. I think that's a fair point. What his R5 title does is shuts down healing. And if the meta was full of healing commanders, he'd be a lot better. That's just not the case though, right? He needs to be ultra whaled to be good, plain simple. B, again, we're not looking at whaled, so not worth the investment. So I don't think we're in disagreement that he's a disappointment. So that's, if you're watching, don't go for him. I'm gonna play a bit. So we're having such season 5 drama betrayals and everything. So bye. Well, good luck with it. C, not meta. C. All right. I'm going to stick him in the C tier. I don't hear anybody saying he's better than Yusra or Kamul. And I've just seen a lot of Dustbins or Cs or that kind of thing. And the utility vote, it's when commanders are really not, maybe their kit isn't that great in PvP. They have some options, but like they are most commonly used for utility things like gathering or siege. We're letting people know that like they're not bad, and if you have them, that you could get use. Like there is, you know, like Ugg Thack, for example. He's a good sieger, and that's worth putting out. So he's not trash, but yeah. Make him a B. I don't know. I've got like a few people who are like saying a little bit higher, but a lot of people are saying not great. Maybe change C tier to non-meta commanders. I feel like we're getting a little bit too specific there. Like I think it's pretty clear here that Undying's not in the meta. No. Meta dependent commanders. All right, you guys really, you want a non-meta here? Overthinking it. No. I don't overthink anything. That does not happen. When the meta changes, you can make another list. Does this really change though? Like I'm not going to move this anywhere else. Does this make people feel better if it says non-meta instead of C? Just to be like, he won one day. You're not wrong. All right. Listen, I get the feeling that some people are attached to some commanders, and this is not a personal attack on your favorite commander. They are special in their own way. You can hang their drawings in the fridge, but Undying's not in the meta, all right? C tier could be incredibly good against the right meta, where B is for bad. All right. It seems like people are happy with the non-meta ranking. So we'll do that. YK, you can send reports. We're not going to look through like intensive reports to try and convince on one commander. We're kind of going with the majority here. So if you feel more than, post them in the Discord. I'd love to see some stuff. But again, I think we had a pretty large majority unimpressed. So he's in the non-meta. He's not in a bad tier. He's just not in the meta right now. Yes, we have B and Dustbin. All right, moving on. Here... Okay, EQ has a question. She's a little bit riled up, I'm not going to lie. Here's the question. Do we change the Dustbin tier to a never meta tier? So we have a never meta Dustbin trash tier and then a non-meta tier where it's just like, hey, it's there, but it's just like does not go with the meta. Does that make more clear sense? And we could do that, to be honest. So it's utility, non-meta, and never meta, or do we move utility down? This is the good tier list, Ohm. Just be patient. I mean, let's be real. Never meta and Dustbin are kind of the same thing, right? Like, they're not getting out of here unless... That's a good point. Like, they're not getting out of here unless they have a crazy rework. It is. I moved. I don't know if it's updated yet. Okay. All right. I think people like the Dustbin, but we get it. It's the same thing. Never meta and Dustbin are the same thing, okay? But people like Dustbin, so we're leaving it at Dustbin. All right, moving on to Witch King. Let's see Netherese is right up here. He's put some energy into the Witch King right up. I loved it. Witch King is an S. He is not S+. He has too many counters. He's a great starting commander. He will steamroll anyone unprepared, but is not hard to be prepared, and it's good. It's a good bet to just set your commander up to counter Witch King. It's very top is SS, and then it's S. It could also just be. Would it be better just to do S+, S, and S-? Like, I didn't make this. I don't know, like the SS. We're just, S is the highest, and there's plus and minus for it, which is just like for really slight differences of top tier things. I think it's a good point, though. Netherese, like, he's great. When he doesn't get countered, he's ridiculous. When he gets countered hard. Okay, that's what I've got it at. Do we consider tactical mark or opportune strike for Witch King? Again, we're thinking optimal respect, so 3 to 5, and with optimal gear, assuming it's not like needed to be fully refined. So I'd say, yeah, best case, he probably might have a tactical mark plant here. It's not fully refined, maybe, but like I personally don't think it changes his kit that much. I think others are going to disagree. I've run him all season with the Drums of Moria because I've got my Palantir on Gil. I know, sue me. And I've still, when he hits well, he hits well. When he gets countered, he gets countered. Tactical marks makes him S+, but based off of the admin description, he's R5 with purple gear, no tackle mark. So you do think that he moves up a bit with tackle mark? Oh, no audio for me, so taking context clues from chat. She's an S, honey. DQ says Frida is an S. Right. All right. I didn't see anything else other than an S. I think there was like one S plus suggestion, but I think we're all on the same page. He is very good, but countered. All right. Next up, Saruman Wizard. I want your actual input, not the meme input of Saruman being SSSS plus plus plus. I know you use Saruman a lot. Where is he? He is not. I have never ever come up against a Saruman, and I have only ever seen Wizard run him. I'm not gonna lie. But I want to know if he's in this meta. Where is it? Where is he? Not heard anything good about Saruman. Wiz, he is mid-pro. Not meta season 1 and 2. Are you saying he is meta now, season 3 plus? Saruman's pretty good, at least A to S plus. A plus, no higher on Saruman. Saruman S minus. Same as Undying. Never seen him, to be honest. Rachel, Saruman B. Fought him once, killed him. Christian Berry A. Saruman, I have him and I can't figure him out. If y'all have a good build, send him my way. Can't make him work. Lots have not used him, or I'm seeing a lot of... I'm waiting for Wiz. I hope he has a write-up here for me. He's above Gothmog, but below Grima and Khaldun at S minus. His focus damage leaves many things to be desired, but he's okay. But his Retaliate Uruk build is good, but requires golds. Okay, I like the explanation. I have heard people say that Grima is better than Sauron. I've heard that, and I'd love to hear differently, but that at least gives us a base of saying he's no higher than Grima here. But we think he's better than Gothmog. Grima is 100% better than Saruman. Okay. Okay. I used him all season, just a worse version of Black Serpent. Didn't get great results and would put him at A+. Okay, so perfect. I was waiting for the wizard chime in. So do you guys think A+ above Gothmog or S- below? I would personally feel a little bit better in the A+ tier. I'm not going to lie. But that's just me. If you get his R10 item and a bit refined, S tier. We're not talking R10 items though. Gothmog better than Saruman. Ohm is saying Gothmog is better than Saruman. Any disagreements there? Lower the mouth. Gorbach is way too low. I vote for B. And we're kind of all over the place still. We might end up settling him here for right now. Ohm is suggesting this as saying Gothmog is better. Wizard, you're agreeing with that as having used him all season, so I will take that into consideration. Nathan, what I'm getting from this is nobody really knows what to do with Saruman. I can see a case Gothmog would be better. Okay, I'm leaving right there. I think that makes sense. I think that makes good sense, right? Not the sandwich shop, you know. All right. Dustbin. We got the dustbin tier right here. All right, I think that's good. I like that. Now, coming up next is be back later. Expect Denethor. Denethor is going in the dustbin. Next up. That's right, chat. If you have not liked the stream yet, if you're enjoying it, if you're having a good time, definitely do so. S+, I won't even explain it. I'd like... No, you said you're doing the write-up for Sauron, right? So, stay tuned. If you guys are not in the... This is a good time to plug. Can I show off your... I'm going to show off your thing now. Well, you know what? No, I want to save it. I want to save it. I don't want to get people too excited yet, because I want to get that together. I don't want to get distracted here. I'll do that sometimes. All right. Going to troll with wrong tiers. I will just mute. EQ is in full out mod mode right now, so beware. You're all joking, right? I don't know what server you're playing in. It seems like everyone is. I don't know. I don't see any disagreements that Sauron is a very good commander, one of the best in the game. I use him in Witch King, all I need. I couldn't agree more, JP. All right. Let people who actually use him decide, please. I saw a ton of S pluses and S's. I do think he's less countered than Witch King, since there's so many. You put a Hauberk on someone and they counter Witch King. I'm going to stick with S plus. Be interesting in hearing some reports. The only thing I would say is Sauron is bad at early game PvE. S plus. Okay. I think everyone's in this ballpark, maybe minus a few who have had some bad experience with him. But that's what we're going to go with. That is what we're going to go with. And we're going to keep the show moving because we're about an hour and a half in and we are doing good commander still. Right? I have to tell leadership meeting they got to wait till I'm done, right? All right. Let's keep it rolling. Next up. If he's going S, he's above Witch King. Italian Crown is a great view for Sauron. What did Italian Stallion say? There we go. Sauron is Bay. I would give him an S or S+. Easily S+ with Weld R15+. Great focus and / or madness builds. He can also get amazing healing with purple gear / skills. I've had 90k healing with purple pipe. I like it. Again, if you guys want like your answer like really considered, give me some information as to why. Don't just say he's Dustbin or he's or whatever. That's a great write-up, Italian Stallion. So Black Serpent. Again, and we're going to go with the majority here. I'm sorry if you feel like he is... there's a couple outliers here, but we think F's above Witch King we feel better. We can always shuffle around. I mean, are we going to put no one in S+ though? Let's be real. That's it, right? It's maybe we finish here and then we see about shuffling around to like add some like depth to the chart. Fair? All right. I think this is the cream of the crop, but I'll be interested to hear some arguments here. All right, moving on to Black Serpent. Black Serpent. I'm putting him up here for just to hold him there for a second. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything. Black Serpent better than Sauron. I just have to disagree. I just do not think that's the case. Black Serpent's a solid S. Black Serpent is S, if not S+, S-. So a lot of S's. Again, I don't see a lot of him, so I'm a little surprised, or I'm like hesitant to go for an S rating when I don't see them in the just, you know, we do a lot of PvP. Again, like Wizard runs one. I think maybe I hit one other one all season, so I'm not saying I won't put him in the S tiers. I need some information here though. A+. Watch RTS Mobile Black Serpent. We're not going to watch another video on a build right now. Black Serpent's S+ with the army damage. So much damage for negation. Plus over R5, you can use some healing from R5 tree top OP. Now the Rees with a a bit of a lower view here, saying, I don't see many Black Serpent. I can't make him work. Too dependent on Muma. The highest I'd put him is behind Khaldun at S-. Lower than Witch King, but still S, I think. I definitely don't think he's better than Witch King or Sauron. And again, here's the reality. You guys want like an honest, real talk for a second. If Black Serpent was S+, everyone would be running Black Serpents. Everyone is not running Black Serpents. Everyone's running Witch Kings and Saurons. It's pretty, like, you just got to look at what you see on the field. You can't just say, well, I saw this one and it did this thing. It's the tested meta we're looking at here. So I don't think he's above those guys. The question now is he better than like Grima or Khaldun? Netherese is saying no, he's behind Khaldun, which is still S-. Very respectable spot. Tank with Evil Men. I use Black Serpent religiously. I can basically counter any commanders in the game with him. I think he's an S. And this kid is wonderful. It has a great many Evil Men synergy. Oh, his kit is wonderful. Has a great many Evil Men synergies but he's overall great. Do you think he is S? So last spot on S. That's the right point. If he's such a meta god, everyone would be running him. He's a solid S. I think he's solid. I think we got some good stuff here. I think we all agree maybe he's not better than Sauron or Witch King. But the question now is he better than a Grima and a Khaldun? At a, optimal respect 5 with decent gear. Same thing if you have all these commanders that respect 5. Let's say you got like decent optimal gear on him. We're not talking fully refined goals. We're not talking R10s. Where does he go? Who? Wizard, what respect is your Black Serpent? Black Serpent is a god tier path there in my book at A+. You're at R5, okay. I'm not seeing disagreement that he should be up here. I just think we're a little bit split on whether or not he's like at the back of the S- tier, or the front of it, or even at the S tier below Witch King and Sauron. I would love to hear your logical thought on this. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. So EQ makes a good point, and it's a tough thing when making lists. So I at least want to talk about this because I think it's something worth talking about regardless. So we're talking about everyone at optimal respect, but what she's bringing up is just the point that like it's hard to not want to rank some of these tier 1 commanders higher because they're tier 1 commanders. So you can get an R5 Grima or Khaldun much easier than the tier 3 commanders. You can get them to even higher respects before you get to the R5. So I do think it's worth noting, at least, that if you are watching and looking through this, I think it's worth considering, like, look how high, I know we're kind of still shuffling things around here, but look how high these tier 1 commanders are, and the investment is much easier to get them to this place, and then they can actually scale even higher. Whereas the R5 to get here is expensive, and then it's a very long and painful investment unless you're a crazy, crazy whale. So I do think we are just going to keep it, optimal respect for everyone. But it is worth noting that these are some very high-ranking tier 1s who can get here at this spot. So anyway. Black Serpent S- or A+. That's where we're at. I don't know if we had a below Witch King and Sauron. I've seen a few things, anywhere between bottom of S minus to bottom of S. Those are the suggestions I've had. Either way, above or below Grima 100%. Which one, above or below? Above Grima or below 100%? We're not gonna say, since Muma are a neutral unit, we're not gonna look at his Muma build. I think, again, worth noting, he can have Muma and do that, but I think we're gonna say that this is just without neutral units. All right, I'm gonna leave him here just because we've been on him for a while. As we add other ones in and we want to shuffle around, we'll do a final look at the end. All right. But I do think he is, we've seen comments for anywhere from here to here, to be honest. So I'm going to put him here. I saw some good, thoughtful comments about why he is above those. Also saw some for he's good, but he's here. So that's what we're going to do. Anywho. Okay. Moving on. We are now on Kieran, another evil man, tier 3 commander, who I think is underrated. How underrated is a good question. He does need evil men for his title, dragoons, halberdiers, war chariots, if you want to run this part of it. So he is a little bit dependent on that if that's what you run. Evil men. I mean, he does not run without evil men. So not that we're going to hold that against him, because there are several commanders like that. But where do we think? Berserker, you think Kieran is S-. Son of Durin, Kieran at least S-. Kieran is S tier. I own him from season 1. Got him already on R17. He's great from the start to late game. I like him more than Sauron, but he's below that in my opinion. And again, we got to look at about respect 5. So are you telling me even at respect 5 he's still there? Or are you saying that he scales really well and R17 you're seeing good stuff? Can you say something what? Yes. Yeah. Is it really? I did it just for you. Kieran on paper looks to me like a better Khaldun, but I haven't been able to get him to R5. I think he's better than Khaldun most of the time. Again, we're looking at R5 to R5. Yes, we've already talked about the reality of it's much easier to get a tier 1 to R5, but S- better than Grima and Khaldun. My main Kieran from my feel is that he does more damage than Khaldun, but Khaldun tanks better. Okay. Kieran is good, especially with evil men, but he does need to be whaled. Anyone I see has him usually R10 plus. I say middle of S-. Okay. So again, I think we're around here somewhere in this area. Again, for a lot of these, if you're watching through the ranking, I'll try and put timestamps so people can click through to each commander to see the sections we talk about. But it sounds like a lot of these, like top 9, there could be some slight shuffling. The point is, they're good commanders. They're worth investment. We're just trying to figure out exactly where they rank. So unless somebody else has some major comments, I think we're going to put him here in the S-, unless I see anything else otherwise. I have Khaldun R13, Kieran R4, currently my gears on Khaldun. Again, and a lot of people saying they've got high respect this, high respect that. We're looking at optimal respect, so like really 5 at the most with decent gear on everybody. So just a general look for the masses. At R5, in all, in a take all commander situation, Khaldun is better. Kieran does have moments against the right faction, but he does do more damage against Cav. He's great versus elves. Worse than Khaldun. Okay. And yes, we will do Sunid. Khaldun because R5 to R5. So we think R5 to R5 Khaldun's better? Which would be, we put him there. With Grima still above both. Earlier you read out a comment about Mouth of Sauron's Tranquility helmet build, but I don't think you got it. Without refinement, any refinement immediately removes a self-imposed 70% debuff. So you're saying, I don't want to backtrack too much, but I am hearing what you're saying. We're saying Harbinger of Darkness is a debuff, and if he has Tranquility, you can get this off of himself, so only the enemy goes against it. If that's the case, I do think Mouth of Sauron could rank higher. But again, we're looking at general builds because at the end of the day, like, I don't have a Tranquility helmet, and I've been playing and wailing out a lot, and I don't think I've ever had one. So still, I'd say that's a very specific gear requirement. Lots of gold stuff. So I don't think I want to put that as a thing, but I think it's a note worth mentioning on Mouth of Sauron as like a sub point here, that with a Tranquility helmet, there's some more viability. Fair? All right. I see a lot of people saying they're cool with this. Orc drummers can cleanse it. Okay, so there's some cleanse opportunities for Mouth of Sauron. Good to know. All right, moving on. We are wrapping up. We got 7 left. So we can go in for a bit here. Let's go a little bit rapid fire. Let's get these taken care of, because we are still going to do good if that's something people want to do today. First, next up, I honestly think these should be pretty easy because I think they're kind of lower rankings. So just give me your gut reaction. Zagrid, where does he rank? He's a damage commander. I've not heard him as being better than any other damage commanders. God, I don't know. B+, Dustbin, non-meta, Dustbin. From what I've seen, it's a damage dealing commander, and he does stuff with the Dunlending Warriors. I'm a fan. Again, R11 is great. We're talking about kind of optimal general, like R5 at the most. Powder that 30+ speed kills. In good Zagrids, but I guess either B or B+. A good B+, B. Okay. A with Lurtz. Is he better or worse than Lurtz? Let's get that nailed out real quick, because they are both similar, like they're damage dealing commanders, correct? Belby, Speedy Tyler. All right. Zagrid. Brigand. Reckless. I don't know, man. I don't think I like this better. Good against Rohan. Again, it's a good note, but I don't think there's enough mounted. I think it's a good point. Behind Gorbach. I think all the way in the B+ down here. All right, no one is saying he's better than Lurtz. I saw between A and B+. Is he worse than Agzok and Gorbach as well? Is that where we want him? Again, the main point here is there are better tier 2 evil commanders, so I don't think we need to spend that much time like really digging into the nitty-gritty of these lower tier ones, or mid-tier maybe, because at the end of the day, you should be investing in a Gothmog or a Mouth of Sauron or even tier 1 commanders before going for a Zagrid, I think is something we could agree on. Worse than Lurtz, B+, fit him well. Better than Shadow in your opinion. That would bump him up to A. All right. I'm not seeing any major disagreements there. So we're going to stick there again. In certain situations, maybe higher, a little bit lower. I never see another, again, a fair point. This is something we have to consider. Like, we have to be realistic here. I could go through my reports and show you every single PvP report this season. Not really, because they probably wouldn't load them all. I've never seen someone using Zagrid. Not one time. For an actual fighting commander. So, just saying, is there an argument then to say he needs to be lower? I hate to like throw him in the dustbin immediately, but he's niche. I see people saying pathing, so he's a very quick pather, so does he go to utility? We've seen 3 people mention pathing because of his speed he has. I disagree, Philip. I think usage has to be the argument. If he was legitimately better than alerts or Gorbags or those things or wherever it is, we would see them. I feel like, I don't think it's we all use the same one. I think people use the same one because it's the meta, right? Because they are new commanders. Look at Sunid. Sunid is one of the newest commanders we have, and I see her on the field a ton because she's good. Right? I hear what you're saying, and I think there's a little bit of that plays in, but I just think if they're good, they're going to be good. I'm sure there's a point to it, but I do think, like, looking at Sunid, for example, as a brand new commander, I see lots of Sunids. Because people started using her. She's good. People see that. People get her. End of story. Zagrid came out. People start using him. Not amazing. Not like crazy. Not worth people wailing out for. Not using him. So I'm seeing anywhere from Dustbin to A. I don't really know where to put Zagrid. Game Zagrid a trash. Non-meta? But is he actually good, though? Is there a meta he actually fits into? I would lean more towards utility for pathing, to be honest. Utility for pathing, he's worse than Lurtz, so at least rank him below an A. I don't know if there's a meta that he exists in that all of a sudden he moves from non-meta to anything else. He kills horse meta. What is his... no, sorry. Let's look at... Hold on. We're doing our due diligence here. We're not going to, like, make sure let's be educated about this. Mounted... Okay, so you deal additional damage to mounted units. Mounted units. So that's it. We're basically saying if it was a complete mounted meta, he would do better and be better. So would you guys like him to be in utility or non-meta? I think that's a fair spot for him. Otherwise, we're just kind of throwing him in the mix here. We've made the point, though. So if you're watching and this is in the future in some kind of a dystopian reality where it's just a complete meta of mounted commanders, here you go. All right. I saw a few videos for utility. I made the point on meta. Let's move on. Okay, next up. Gorbach needs to be lower. We're not going to... We're going to leave this set where it is. As we went through, we had quite a bit of discussion on like Gothmog and Gorbach, so we're not going to just shuffle stuff around. Again, this is looking at R5. This is not looking at R10 items. It's not looking at crazy high respect. We talked through a lot of that. So we're going to leave it set here for right now. I know there's going to be some different preferences. That's okay, but this is a general starting point. So a new player could look at this and go, okay, Khaldun or Yusra? There's a clear difference. Go for Khaldun. That's one of the goals I want to do here. So, yeah. Same with like Gothmog and who is it? Gothmog and is it Grishnak that share an item? You could look at this and go, okay, I'm brand new to the game. I got these orc officer medals. Okay, this Grishnak guy is in the dustbin. Gothmog is an A+. You know what I mean? All right, moving on. Adune. Angmar Chick, as she's been called. Do I have her? I think I have her at like gross respect. Respect 6. Adune is a forking respect trap. I tried that girl, and my god, I need a respect reset button so bad for her. Yeah. You're using her at the moment. I got her at 6, and she's got a lot of interesting stuff. I will say I have not seen an Adune on the battlefield. I don't know. Where does that put her? If she needs high respect to be good, we're looking at optimal, like we don't want to go past like 5. Where does she at respect 5? Does she have enough points to do anything? Is she dustbin? Saw her being used but not to great success. Okay. Does it bother anybody else that her forearm looks like weirdly... I bring this up like about every 3 months on stream. It looks disproportional how it is, and I think for that reason I want to put her in dustbin. No. Non-meta like Undying. What is her meta though that she fits into? The best use I got out of her is holding pretty well against crazy well Galadriel, but not for the rest not doing great. She's dust at max. Dustbin, in my opinion, never see her. She doesn't do enough damage no matter what I see, and she isn't good with troops. Give her a new tier worse than dust. Hard counters to healers. Again, hitting her on tiles is sometimes rough. So she's got... What's her anti-heal, though? She's got black arts for a little bit. Is there anything else that's anti-heal? And plague. So I don't necessarily think 2 skills means she like totally shuts down, like Undying, where it's like the R5 shuts down healing. Oh, okay. I stand corrected. Betrayer. She does have a title. Enemy and ally cannot be healed. So I think she's probably dustbin. If people would feel better with her in the non-meta area, I would be okay with that. Because I think she would see better use in that meta, but other than that, it sounds like she needs high point investment. She doesn't really do anything super well. Remember when she first came out, she killed Gandalf and Arwen. Again, healing commanders. Very good point. Put her non-meta. If anything else, she'd kill all the good healing commanders if they were any good. Maybe I don't want to be too harsh. I don't think there's not being... These are just pixels. It's okay. We can all still be friends if we disagree on whose pixels are better than the other. I mean, look at the wrist. Again, for me, it's the character animation that puts it in the dustbin, but that's just me. That's just me. I'm joking, of course, but I do think I'm going to leave her in the non-meta. In RP, if there was more of a meta that came out where it's like really heal focused, she probably bumps up, but then it really changes. For future tier lists, even though it makes it a bit more complicated, it'd be nicer to compare tier 3 R5 to tier 2 R8. It's just, yes, but here's the reality. Here's the actual truth. We've been at this for 2 hours. We're not done with evil yet. I just think the more layers we add is going to get ridiculously complicated. And for all of us here that were in stream hanging out, we're the ones who are going to spend time doing this. That makes sense. I think like the best like general use for something like this is going to be a new player who is coming in and wants to see very quickly where do these commanders rank. And so I think trying to go, okay, so hey, at a respect 11 for tier 1, you got this versus it's just like, no, just give them a general snapshot. That's my thought. Anywho, moving on. Lather. YK, I'll look at it later. We're not going to do it on stream right now. Don't overcomplicate things, chat. You guys, you know that I overthink, chat. Don't do it. Don't do that. All right, Lather. Where we think? Lather A. From what I heard, who was it that was running that Lather this season? With the Reaper build, it looked super, super cool. I don't know how dependent that was on elite units though. But obviously in Fallen, but that's very specific, so we have to bear that in mind. Then he's got the Reaper Stalker build. Boar, that's right. Seriously, I got wrecked by a Lather this, and it's a season 5 with elite units. Bear that in mind. But like, Pallbearer with Reapers was really interesting this season. I'll say that. Deep dive tier list. It's gonna be like a 13-hour stream where we're just like have like 100 different charts going out. Lather's not dependent on elite skills, but does make it better. Okay, fair point. So I'm seeing some B's, some B pluses, some A's. I don't see anything higher than A being suggested so far. He buffs Reapers. Reapers was busted with elite troops. Move on. Okay. So with non-elite, I had not seen him till this season, so maybe it was the use of elite troops that brought him into the fold a little bit. So outside of that, is he better than Shadow? Is he better than Lurtz? Better than Gorbach? What do we think? A, one of the better Nazguls. Behind Shadow, in my opinion. Every one of the commanders that uses non-evil men units, you can put one tier below because Champion of the Light is meta and beats all of them. I think that's a good point that if you're using anything but evil men, there is that, but we're not going to move everyone down one tier. Most of the tier 2 commanders need high respect to stand against good, so basically only tier 3 can stand against good at R5. All right, so far I've seen A through B below Shadow. I've got him right here. If there are no major complaints, we're going to move on to Quarren. High cost commander that does pretty good damage with his high might, but due to low focus, his troops die quicker. Law, you think A+ for Lather? I don't know. We got you might have some people upset in here saying something like that. They were pretty convinced he's below Shadow. That's the thing too. The meta could be completely different in a few months, and this will be but a distant memory of incorrect thoughts and ideas, right? We're just looking right now. General. All right, I don't see a whole lot of more. I think people are maybe not so sure on Lather, so we're going to move on. Quarren, definition of non-meta. He is so dependent on who you're countering, the armies you're fighting against. No way to place him on the board. I don't disagree with that, and for the sake of time, would be fine putting him in non-meta and moving on. And again, just a note for everyone, I appreciate all the comments. If we've already placed a commander, we've spent a lot of time on each of them, so we're not going to go back and like shuffle major things around. If you are just joining in, no disrespect, but we would be here till the end of time if every time someone came in was like, hey, by the way, this could do this. We did have some discussion about it, but we're going to leave things where they are, mostly just for the sake of time. I do think so. Here's the deal. A forever stream. I do think there probably are situations where he ranks all over the place, but I do agree with what Nethery said. It is very dependent on what you're coming up against. In roleplay, I think he does much better, but it just depends on who you come up against because he has the catastrophe of elves, men, and dwarves. And we are going to do a manual edition of Sunid and oh, who else was it? I keep forgetting. Skullhelm. But this list didn't have them, and I didn't want to make a whole new list. Oh, Glasha. That's right. Okay, thank you. Yep. We'll do Glasha too. All right, I'm going to put him in non-meta. I think that's like a respectful spot where like the point is clear that in certain situations he could rank anywhere higher, but I don't think anyone's disagreeing with that. Next up, Thiel. Please. Is she going in the dustbin? I'm a little bit upset that she's in dustbin because honestly her kit looks interesting on paper to me, but all I ever hear is dustbin talk. I don't like some of her skills and like it's just weird. It's a weird kit. Thiel is below the dustbin. Non-meta. I'll give it like 10 seconds for any comments about Thiel that are not dustbin. Because again, I also want it to be clear, if you're new to this game and watching, and you've sat through a 2-hour stream so far trying to learn about the commanders, kudos to you. I don't think we need anybody investing in Thiel. I've never seen. Cat lady goes in the litter box. Oh, that's good. All right. He looks like a Disney villain. All right. Cruella de Vil. Oh, Maleficent. Yeah. All right. Anywho. Oh, I read it. Is that I didn't even think about that. Okay. Cesaro. Where are we putting Cesaro? Renamed Dustbin tier after her. Cesaro needs a no damage dealer tier. Again, we're not if we've already done them, leave it be. What do you guys think Cesaro is? He's the second last on our actual list here. Don't mind blue stacks. High potential with high respect. B max. From what I've heard, he's a focus damage dealing commander who just doesn't stack up to other focus damage dealing commanders in the game. So there's potential, there's options with high respect, but it just doesn't quite add up. Just ignore blue stacks. Don't mind blue stacks. You think he's trash? B tier. He's no better than Yusra. He needs so much investment and still falls short. He needs undead. There's no guarantee. Yeah, I have heard that it's very gear and specifically undead dependent. So that's not a bad point. All right. I'm putting him there. In the B. There's no C tier, Captain Woofles. Bottom of the B tier. Is he Dustbin? If he absolutely needs undead, does that mean he's Dustbin, or are we fine with B? Is B with kind of without undead? I think that was the point. Gotta go. Great stream. I'll watch. Good tier list tomorrow. Glad to hear it. All right. If he's not B tier, he's the king of the dustbin. Okay, I'm going to leave him in. I don't know. My gut says B tier. Again, make your own judgment there, but not probably worth investment. I know. Well, that would be the second one in there. We got Thiel in there too. And we got a Grima up here in the S- tier. Come on, Netties. Johnny Gaming, why is Witch King so far up? Again, we're not going to rehash all the ones we've talked about. We had some really good conversations about Witch King. He definitely belongs up there in S tier. No. No. Peter Jack, no. I've been saving this top tier for Pete Jackson. Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? That's why I didn't put anybody else here, because I wanted to leave the best for last. Did it just work out like this? Yes. But, okay, no, really. Utility, maybe. I have heard of some really niche builds with like sentinels or snipers with his follow-up range build, but I think that gets pretty niche. He's got siege. He's got a Correct, yes. Utility or dustbin. Fat pirate goat. Hey, put some respect on him at least. Be respectful to Pete Jackson. Come on now. He kind of got a lot of weird stuff his kit does. Like, yes, I've seen a good report for the range build, but overall, I'm going to put him in utility just because I don't want to put him in the dustbin, to be honest. He has siege, and that's kind of why that's what I'm doing. I'm doing it. All right. Next up is, yep, we're doing Sunid. Last three here, we're doing Sunid, we are doing Skullhelm, and we're doing Glasha. So let me take a little picture here of Sunid. Save. Sun. Done. Here. Evil Commanders. Sunid. Okay. This is kind of like, I'm gonna edit this in better once this is going into video form, but this is gonna be a mess. All right, I'll make this look nice and shiny in the video, but for now it's not in the tier list, and we weren't gonna make a whole new tier list. Where does Sunid rank? I know it's gonna be at the top here, but where does it rank? And we'll put it next to that side. S+. Sunid is even with Sauron. From what I've heard, Sunid has like a crazy damage output kit like a Witch King, but is less countered. Which to me is like, yeah, it's gonna put her up here with these guys between Witch King and Sauron, I would say. Is Sunid better than Sauron? Sunid best evil commander. Sauron Sunid S+, to be honest. We are kind of splitting hairs here, but would we feel better? Would everyone feel better if we did something like this, where it was like Sunid and Sauron up here in S+, and then S like that? So we'd have Sauron, Sunid, S+, and then down below in the S tier, Witch King. Yeah? Cool. All right. That works for me. I'm going to make that really nice and pretty in the actual video, where she's going to be sitting here right next to Sauron with a, big smile on her face. So let's do that. Okay, next up, we have Skullhelm. I haven't heard great things about Skullhelm, so I'll be curious to hear if you guys have got information. Did you not take a little bit of a better picture? Thank you. And rice. Just kind of for reference as we're watching, but I don't necessarily think I see her ranking that highly. All right. Skullhelm. Warg tier. Skullhelm's glitched abilities, I don't know if they're fixed yet. Golem is bottom of the bin. She is like the king of warg fighters, and we all know. Oh, man. Rename Dustbin to warg tier. So we're saying Skullhelm is the worst of the worst commander in the game, with what her kit does, how good it buffs the troops in the game being wargs, and so that is going to be our third, or our second. We almost considered 3 is down here. Skullhelm is greater than Thiel, you think? So in the dustbin, Thiel and then Skullhelm. Either way, we're splitting hairs here on it's a bad commander, from what everyone's saying. We're fighting between, yeah, no. I care more about fighting between the top ones so people can know those differences are important. These are not, right? We agree on that? All right. Dustbin she goes. We'll put her in there. I always feel bad for those people. It's like, hey, I full pulled Thiel. Is she any good? And you're like, no, bless your heart. No, she's not. All right, last but not least. Oh, see, at least she took a nice picture. At least she took a nice picture. She's creepy looking, man. That's something I'm going to have a nightmare about tonight. All right. Glasha. Honestly, never seen her. I forget she's a commander. I've seen her like a couple of times. Very, very, very few. Oh, hold on. Where'd she go? Scared her away. There she is. C negative. Dustbin. We're kind of all over the place. We got B+, C-, Dustbin, and not seen her. Again, let's look at her kit. She has Messenger. So anti-normal commander attack with those skills. I'm not crazy about this tree, but it's okay. Assassin for commander poison damage and more poison damage. Uruk-hai buffing. And all enemy damage dealt. Damage reduction. And damage received. She needs the oil of Olay. Her Artemite's bad too. Tried her last season with Isengard, was not working well. To me, it looks like she's supposed to work with Uruk-hai, but that's not going to be a whole lot, even with like the R5, extra damage, all that. And then she's got weird like anti-commander and poison stuff. I'd love to hear if someone had a better argument. I'm kind of thinking for the sake of time, she's also going to go in the dustbin. I think it's worth pointing out that some of these newer commanders in the future might have more use. They might have reworks. They might be new gear, whatever. But right now, the meta is pretty set, and I don't see Glasha just smashing into the meta with her release. Right? She's an orc commander that buffs orcs, but buffs Uruks, but needs orcs to work. She does need orcs. Why does she need orcs? Or are you just saying like certain skills on orcs like would work better with her? Either way, it is strange. I won't deny that it's strange. I think we're going dustbin, chat. I think we're gonna go dustbin. Kit screams Reapers, but she buffs Uruks. Oh, on her R10 item, it also affects it, which, again, we're not considering, but... what does her R10 have to do with... Poison damage dealt plus 10 after an allied unit deals poison damage. The Reapers deal poison? They just have... I'm like forgetting what all these kits are because of the elite skills. They don't deal poison, though. It's just the... You guys got me all turned around. Damage. Prioritize defense. Oh, orc archers, you're saying. Arbalest. Okay, my bad. I saw someone say Reapers, and I was confused for a second. All right. Either way, weird kit. Doesn't work well together. R10's bad. A dustbin. Right? Sound good? Kit screams Reapers. Okay, I got you. I was mixing up the comments between R10s and the Reaper comment. Got myself confused. We're good. All right. I think that is going to do it for our Evil Commander tier list.